Good morning, everybody. I am Surendra from the New Bharati School. Today I am going to explain the topic respiration in human beings. Now, last we are discussing about the respiration in different organisms, that is the lower animals, and after that we are going to explain how the human beings shows the respiration process. Now, first of all, in human beings, the main respiratory organ, that is the lungs, but along these lungs, another respiratory organelles are also present, which work systematically, and all these organs like nostril, trachea, lungs, and cells of lungs, these are all work systematically, so they are comparatively known as a respiratory system. Now, the respiratory system in human beings basically categorized into two. That is, number one, external respiration, and second one is internal respiration. Now, the basic difference between the external respiration as well as internal respiration, that the atmospheric gases which we inhale and that we transported in the respiratory tract. So, such type of the respiration is known as external respiration. That is the inhalation of the oxygen from the atmosphere and exhalation of the carbon dioxide from your nostrils after the metabolic activities. So that is called external respiration. This internal respiration, also known as cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, why? Because we are earlier discussed that respiration completed into two phases, that is the internal, or you can say cellular respiration, that is glycolysis as well as Krebs cycle, and both of the respiration type of reactions occurs inside the cell. That's why it is called cellular respiration. External respiration. Now, in the external respiration, we explaining the system of respiration in the human beings, and human being, these systems are consisted with the help of different respiratory organs, like number one, nostril, nostrils, second, nasal cavity, third, pharynx, then larynx, then trachea, then bronchi, bronchiole, then alveolar sac, alveoli, and most important, lungs. Right? So these are all the respiratory organs, where all these are part of external respiration. Now, through the diagram, I will explain where these organs are present. No doubt this is the nostril. Before explaining this cellular, I will first explain the external respiration. Suppose this is the windpipe, and along the windpipe, this is the food pipe. Now, the food pipe as well as nostril at these places are similar, but the windpipe is covered with a cartilaginous flap-like structure, and that flap-like structure is called glottis. This is called glottis, and after that the bifurcation of the food pipe as well as windpipe is separated. Now the windpipe, I have marking as a windpipe. This windpipe further started with capital C shaped, cartilaginous, ring-like structures. These are called tracheates or trachea. This trachea again bifurcated into two. These ring-like structures are cartilaginous. They are capital C in shape. This is capital C in shape. So, and opens into lungs. Here, the lungs. Now, it is also important in human beings, these lungs are slightly changes in their shape. This is the right hand side, means right lung, and this one is the left. This right lung is bifurcated into three lobes, where the left lung bifurcated into two lobes. First of all, like these organelles, where they found. Now, nostril. This is called nostril. That opening part is called nostril, and this nostril is bifurcated into left hand side as well as right hand side by the help of this cartilaginous layer. And after that, this is the nasal bone. Here is the nasal bone. This is called nostril, and the inner surface of the nostril consists with the help of ciliated epithelial cells as well as mucous cells. Ciliated epithelial cells, or you can say mucous cells, both of these cells protect the entry of dust particulate as well as other microbes from atmosphere toward the inner side of the windpipe. So inside the nostril, there are ciliated, means they have the finger-like projection, or you can say brush-like projections, and some hair follicles are also there. So these hair follicles or hairs protect the dust particulate as well as other microbes to enter inside the windpipe. After that, just end of this nostril, this cavity is called nasal cavity. This cavity is called nasal cavity. Now, the mucus which is secreted in the nostril as well as in the nasal cavity the most important point is there, the function of mucus inside the nostril as well as inside the nasal cavity. It is well known the temperature of our body as well as the temperature of the atmosphere is varied. So this mucus provides the maintaining the temperature of atmospheric gases which we inhale, and also provide the moisture which is required for our body. After this nasal cavity, you can say this is the windpipe, and this one which bifurcate the, this is called this one is called epiglottis and this one is called glottis. Right? The basic function of epiglottis is glottis. Basically our windpipe is continuously open because respiration or breathing is the continuation process. During the inhalation of or during the swallowing the food material or during the drinking of water, being a time, this epiglottis closes the windpipe and opens the food pipe through which water and food material passes down in the stomach. During the swallow-in, the glottis comes up. When the glottis comes up, at that time means food pipe is open but windpipe is closed. So the food material transmit into the food pipe, or you can say inside the stomach region. Now after the epiglottis, the windpipe is surrounded by a cartilaginous ring-like structure, cartilage के बने हुए cartilaginous ring-like structure. These ring-like structure are called you can say slightly larger here. This is called larynx, or you can say the vocal cord, right, through which we produce the sound. Now this larynx, or you can say voice box, this is called trachea, and trachea get bifurcated into two parts. This one is called, that is bronchi. That is bronchi. And when the bronchi enters inside the lungs, then it again bifurcated into three parts, and the left lung, these bronchi bifurcated into two parts. At that time they are known as, that is bronchioles, that is bronchioles. Yes. Okay. Now after the bronchioles, these bronchioles again bifurcated in many parts, that on the behalf of lung cells. Now lung cells does not contain any muscles, so the cells of the lungs are also called spongy cells, right? And these bronchioles bifurcated as equal to the lung cells, right? And suppose this is the lung cell. I made a lung cell. I will make here. Suppose this is the lung cell. This one. Right. Now this bronchiole again bifurcated and enters into the lung cells. These are the bronchioles. These bronchioles enters inside the lung cell, and inside the lung cells there are many great bunch-like structures are present. I will make only one unit, but more than 200 to 600 units are present like that, great bunch-like structure. These great bunch-like structure, these are called alveolar sac or alveoli, and each chamber of alveoli called alveoli sac or alveolar sac. If we make only single unit, this unit is called alveolar sac, and entire part is called alveoli. All the atmospheric oxygen which we inhaled, now it is transported through the first nostril, then nasal cavity, then it pass out into the larynx, then the trachea, then trachea to the bronchi, bronchi to the bronchioles, then bronchioles to the, finally the oxygen reaches in this alveoli sac, or you can say alveolar sac. Here the diffusion of the oxygen as well as carbon dioxide takes place. Again, this is very important question for the board purpose, which is the site for the exchange of gases in human being. The exchange of gases generally takes place after the metabolic activities. The formed carbon dioxide which mixed into the blood, it get diffuses inside them, and the oxygen which present in the alveoli chambers, it get diffuses inside the blood. That is the another process. Let me screen in the next class. Now this is the specific site for the gases exchange, that is carbon dioxide inside the alveoli chamber which get exhaled out, and oxygen inside the blood which transported in our body. Now first, this is the alveoli, last one is the lungs. Lungs is the main respiratory organ in human beings or the animals which contain the lungs. Each lung is surrounded by a protective sheet. Each lung is surrounded by a protective sheet, and this protective sheet is double layered, means it is slightly thick. Each lung, this is the protective sheet of the lung or protective layer of the lung, and that protective layer is called pleural layer. This is called pleural layer, right? This is called pleural layer, and this pleural layer protect the lungs from external injury. And both of the lungs is situated in our thoracic cavity, inside the rib cage. This rib cage protect lungs as well as our heart, because this is the position of heart. Here the heart is located. So the rib cage, or you can say the thoracic cavity, where the rib cage is present, inside the rib cage these lungs are protected. And just below the, or you can say base of the lungs, this base of the lungs are situated on diaphragm. Most important, because this diaphragm help to squeeze the lungs as well as expand the lungs. Because when the diaphragm, suppose this is the diaphragm, when this diaphragm become globe in shape, it pressurizes the lung cells, so the gases which present inside the lung cells, they get exhaled out. And when the diaphragm become flattened, now the lungs become in their original shape. Like this one, this is the flattened, they get slightly expand and atmospheric oxygen get filled inside the lung cells. So these are the external respiration process. Now in the next class we are explaining how the diffusion process takes place inside the lungs, as well as what is the cellular or internal respiration, how this oxygen transported in the blood or entire part of the cells for the metabolic activities, or you can say for the breaking of the food material inside the mitochondria. So like this video and study well, and if any query, ask me again. Thank you.